Hello beautiful souls, welcome to a new video. Greetings from Vienna. I'm currently cat sitting for 5 days here, and in return for taking care of the cats I can stay for free at this lovely apartment in the city in the center of the city. And I was like, I feel inspired to talk about ascension symptoms from my own experience. And I remember, I think 1 year ago or so, I also made a video about this one, I think in Dutch, so in my on my other YouTube channel. And so I thought, yeah, it's time to talk about this in English as well. Maybe, excuse me, I just ate. I had my lunch. Yeah, maybe it can help you to understand that you are not going crazy. Of course, this is just like talked about from my own point of view, what I've been experiencing the last 2 years now. So yeah, let's get started. And one of the reasons why I also feel the call to talk about this in a video is because, and maybe the people that follow me on Substack, that are subscribed to my free newsletter, have read about this already. But I've been struggling a lot the first 2 months, especially since I left my country, since I'm traveling and being on the roads with my van. It hasn't been always sunshine and rainbows. It definitely has not. So also to the person that that wrote this hate email to me, I think it's maybe almost a month ago. And one of the things that this person wrote about me was like, yeah, you are doing like you're constantly in this 5D consciousness, get over yourself, you're so fake. Well, I'm here to tell you a bit about my story, and that it's very easy to make assumptions about someone that just makes videos, not every day, maybe once or twice a week, and that's all. And from this place, because you hear me talking about certain topics, you think that I am one of the ascended masters and that I am completely like enlightened. Yeah, that's not the case. Well, it actually is, but I believe we are all enlightened. We are all awake, and we are still more and more evolving and growing in deeper awareness of remembering what we are. But in the essence, we've always been enlightened. But yeah, the first 2 months since I've been on the road, so I went to France from my country, Belgium, and at the end of the first week of May, and now we are at the end of July already. And it took me, if I can be honest, I think almost 10 weeks to really like get used to this new lifestyle. And it also took my nervous system this amount of time to integrate this, to adapt to how different this is, because I don't have my own place any longer. Yes, I have my van, but most of the time I'm outside, and that's why I'm also like so tense. A lot of people, I love these comments, write like, oh, every video you seem more tense. It's because I'm constantly spending time outside in the sun, and although I've also had like a lot of rain already while being on the roads, yeah, the majority of the time the sun was very bright. Also, like my hair is getting lighter, more like blonde. This was the color that I had when I was a kid, and it's very nice to see like return just because of the sun. And so, yeah, the last couple of weeks, 2 weeks maybe, I started to shift like my heart opened more for my struggles as well. That's also like something that I want to share with you, or just inspire you to. You know, the power of remembering what you are and feeling this enlightenment lies in allowing your human experience, experiencing it, being deeply present with it, and having the courage to open your heart for it. So the main things that I was struggling with while being on the road the first months was, of course, just the grief. I was grieving my old life in Belgium, my old home, my apartment, the comfortable things, the luxury, like being able to take a shower whenever I want, having a toilet always nearby, having Wi-Fi, just in general, having my own space. Now I adore being in nature all the time. It also was like a bit strange for me to be in a very big city, to arrive here. And I also feel like, but I will maybe discuss this more later on in the video when I talk about ascension symptoms, but like I don't feel very excitement to explore the city and to explore all these touristic spots, although there are beautiful buildings and churches here in the city. What was I like? The point that I was gonna make. What I was struggling with. So my ego, my minds were were constantly bringing back the same stories, in grieving, in missing, in doubting my choice as well. And that's struggling with that, the doubting about my choice was really a clear sign, actually, that I definitely did not make this choice from a place of my mind, from my ego, from my small self, my small separate individual self, my human self. It clearly was a guidance, and I knew this before I left my country, and I never expected to struggle this long with this new lifestyle, but it's okay. Like I'm so glad that I got to feel this, that I got the opportunity to experience grief around this, and that I had all the time to adapt to this new lifestyle and to like understand on a deeper level why I actually am being guided to my soul to live this more unpredictable life with less comfort, with less luxury. And so, of course, I've had moments, and when you feel better, when you feel more at peace within yourself and you are enjoying the traveling or the place where you are staying, then I'm also more inspired to make videos, and then it may seem in my videos that I'm always happy and enjoying my time, but that was just a fraction of what I've been through the last couple of months. And so it's incredibly beautiful, because since I opened my heart again, and that really happened when I completely surrendered to all my emotions, because I was still like resisting certain emotions. I was so done with the constant grief, also like the stories that my mind was repeating again and again and again, and I knew, I was very aware of them, that that's not what I have to identify with, but I was still like, my mind was still bringing these stories up because, or bringing to the surface, because I wasn't fully able to be present while traveling. Like my survival instincts, my ego was still a lot of the times taking control over my travel plans and my daily life, because, and that's just how it's just it's always how this works. I just said it. I was judging myself that I already mentioned this like 1 minute ago or so. But when we are afraid of feeling certain things, we suppress them, of course, and this manifests in having louder thoughts, in more painful stories from a place of victimhood and separation and control and fear. So I eventually got so tired of all these emotions, all these thoughts. So I completely surrendered. Like, I allowed myself to grieve deeply and to like cry my eyes out until my eyelids were actually swollen. I was when I saw myself like in the mirror, I was a bit shocked. But that helped me, like to feel it all, to stay with it, to accept it, to allow it to be there. It helped me to slow down again and to come back to my existence again, to recognize it again, and to open my heart. So yeah, that's what happened a few weeks ago now. And since, like, all the things that my spiritual ego missed so much, and I was also like a typical thing that happens because I was like judging my emotions and the grief that didn't seem to stop or didn't seem to progress. My spiritual ego came up with all of these stories like, it's brought up memories from the past where I was in this more place of awareness, living from my heart space, living more in the present. So many beautiful things come along with that in your daily life, and my ego was missing this so much. So it was like trying to bring in certain tools that helped me before to feel it, to be able to feel this again, to be able to be in this experience of enlightenment again. So it was constantly like trying to control. That's also something that I've like learned again. And I knew this before, but when you are so much in your mind and in your emotions, it's hard to really feel this and to remember this. But you don't need strategies. You don't need them, because oftentimes when we try to apply certain things to feel better, it's also from a place of control and not allowing and not trusting and not being present with what actually is, not recognizing your aliveness and your existence, your wholeness, the union that you are. So that's a very long introduction to this video, but I was I've been feeling so much gratitude towards what happened since I just allowed myself more to be, to exist, and to open my heart for what was arising within. My love for life, for other people, for everything actually returns. I remembered again, and so many, but these are actually beautiful ascension symptoms that I remembered from the past, like from 1 year ago or 2 years ago. They came back to the surface, and it's been such a beautiful experience. But of course, some symptoms can also be less comfortable, more uncomfortable, not pleasant. And I know that, like, the journey of ascension, your frequency that rises, can be experienced differently for everyone. Some people feel this heavily in a physical way. I have less experience with this. It's not that I've always been focused on that, or like that this was something that was very how can I say this? Yeah, there was less focus on that or something. But what I can remember, and it's such a difference if I compare this to 3 years ago, for example. 3 years ago, I was still in a lot of chasing addictive energy when it came to my twin flame journey. So we are constantly like consuming information around this journey, around awakening, but you're still most of the time approaching this from your mind. So I read about all of these symptoms instead of actually being present with them, instead of actually allowing them, instead of opening my heart for them. So that's a big difference compared to being very aware that these are symptoms, that you are experiencing them right now. So, of course, you can find a lot of information online about physical symptoms, having headaches, being dizzy, whatever it might be. But when you come to this deeper awareness through the present moments and opening your heart, you will have less the urge, that's one of the symptoms, to consume things. You will have more the urge to just be, to like bath in your own existence, to radiate the love that you are. And suddenly you will, like, for example, you open social media, maybe Instagram, and you will look at it and feel like, this doesn't serve me, like I'm not interested at all. And then you'll also recognize that before that, most of the times you grabbed to this application to distract yourself from the present moment, from your feelings, from that is arising, also from the guidance and the wisdom that's always available in the present moments. Maybe I can also make a video about distractions, because that's a very interesting topic that is like, it has everything to do with consumption. So you will just in general become more aware when you are distracting yourself with consumption. Maybe distracting yourself with food, with social media, like I just said, with binge watching series or movies, whatever it is, it will not satisfy you any longer. You will feel like, no, I just want to sit in silence instead of, or I just want to spend some time in nature, or I just want to talk to someone that I care about, that I love. I want to connect. So, and it will also like bring this transmission into more expression and less consumption. You will feel inspired to be creative, maybe to write, to paint, to cook fresh meals, to dance. Because you start to feel alive again, you remember your aliveness again, and you want to share it with the world. It doesn't have to be on social media, but just by, authentically expressing this through your gifts or creativity. So it's very normal that your point of view as well on society, on watching TVs or movies or series, they will change. You won't have the urge any longer to constantly consume and to watch these things. Also because you start to live from the inside out, and from this place, your perception, like I just said, on society will change, on people will change, on psychology will change. You will start to view things differently. And that may come sometimes with a lot of loneliness, because it feels like you are different now and that people don't understand you. But it's just you awakening from the dream that people are still like living in, and you are zooming out, you are remembering again, and you'll, especially at the beginning, you won't understand why people don't see this, why they don't feel the way you feel things right now. It's because you are a pioneer, you are a bridge builder, you are here for the new, you are a way shower. That's why you are like activated on, for example, the twin flame awakening journey. So like questioning society, viewing it differently is also a very, very common thing. For me, it was reversed. So I started to question society before my catalyst, my twin flame. Of course, I was already like a bit interested in spirituality, but when I started to question society, that happened in 2021, 5 years ago now. It came along also with the breakup that I had with my first like mature relationship. I've been with a young man when I was in my like 19 years old until my 23rd age, when I turned 23. When this relationship ended, I felt more safe and comfortable to start question things in society, because this breakup had also something to do with how differently we both were approaching things in society. We had very different values, and so that's where like so much new awareness came to me, and I felt so rich just to be able to question things and to open my mind even further to what was actually being told to us. And then 1 year later, I met my twin flame, and I was deeply, deeply invited into really shifting back to soul and to come back to remembrance. Other things that may be recognizable for you as well, may resonate with you, is your taste in music, for example, or your taste in clothes will change. That happened for me like around my activation when I met my other self, but it's definitely evolved even further the more I was like taking responsibility of this awakening path, the more that I was taking this serious and surrendered. Some music, you will just get more or be more sensitive around frequencies and the energy behind music. So I wasn't be able to listen to music that I was listening to since I was 16 or 18 years old. So new music crossed my path. I discovered a lot of other genres, but also just in general new artists that nourished me more. Like it's also that the lyrics resonated more with me. And when you are along this journey, like peeling off these layers, more letting go of what you thought you were, so these egoic perceptions, you'll also maybe become aware of oh, I am dressing myself in a certain way because I was identifying with this kind of archetype. For me, it was always being very attracted to the hippie culture, the hippie clothes. And I sometimes really enjoy like wearing these long dresses or long skirts. But I also allowed myself to just clothe myself casual. And also more like female clothes that in the past I had a judgmental thing about it. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's not important. It's just that your taste in music, in clothes, maybe other things as well, will change because you grow a deeper awareness around yourself, your behavior, your choices, but in general, the things you consume. And also things about food or alcohol. I remember like the first month or so that I tapped into this frequency of union, and my awareness became like brighter, my heart opened more. That when I, for example, ate pizza or fries, I literally felt how this like I'm looking for the right translation. I felt how my frequency was like dropping again. Like I felt how my consciousness was shifting again in the older consciousness that I've been living in most of my life. So I could feel a difference in frequency and how certain foods would influence this. Also alcohol, but I've never been like really into alcohol. I drank a bit alcohol sometimes when I was a teenager, of course, because I wanted to fit in and explore how this would make me feel, alcohol. But I think since 3 or 4 years almost, maybe around my awakening through the twin flame, I've never been interested in alcohol any longer, but I hear sometimes stories also from people that I've worked with on this awakening journey that, they just also become aware of what alcohol actually does with their consciousness, and that they got disgusted by it, and it became so easy for them to just drop it and to not consume it any longer because they were feeling so good without it. And it drains you in a certain way. Your energy changes, and once you've had this experience of inner union with your ego, you just don't want to go back. You don't want to go back in these lower frequencies because it's not pleasant at all if you can compare it. What else is very common? Maybe a more deeper thing that really is from my own experience. And then I can refer now to what I've felt yesterday when I was exploring the city here in Vienna, in Austria, the city Vienna. Wow, okay. This will be a long video. Never mind. So, ever since I remembered this inner guidance within, one of the things that also happens is before I loved reading books. It all started with me with just reading with young adults, with fantasy, with romance, with historical fiction, and then in self-development books and spiritual books, books about astrology and so on. But once I remembered again and I started to feel the power and the enlightenment of my own presence and my own aliveness, my interest in books also disappeared. And I still have this. Like some moments my ego thinks like, but yeah, you need something to read. And that's okay, that like my human self is of course allowed to enjoy a good book. But most of the times I'm like this focus and this interests, I feel dissolving when I try to read a book. I'm very strict in what I read and what not, because it doesn't comes into my awareness the way it used to. Because you really remember, the guidance was always within. It is within. And I can read a lot of books about this, maybe, that can help me, but it's more easy and simple if I just drop the consuming of more information and books and just allow my existence to unfold through my human experience. And that's still something that I'm like navigating through and exploring, because 2 days ago I was like in this big shopping street here, and yeah, it was like the first few hours that I arrived here after I think 2 months of not being in a big city. Before that, I like the last big city that I was in Palma, the main capital city of Mallorca. And so I crossed a bookstore, and like my old identity of being this book addict almost was like, oh, I miss this. So I went into the store, and of course I got easily very overwhelmed by the tourists, and it was just very busy there. It was a beautiful store, and I picked up I picked up, wow, I was like translating my own language to literal in English. But I took some books from the shelf and I read like the back of it. But yeah, it just lost my interest immediately. And yesterday I went to like the more touristic spots here in Vienna, beautiful buildings. And you know, I've enjoyed it for a while, but it didn't impress me or something. Like I know it's also part of my journey of being a visionary. I share more about that on Substack. But I got so bored eventually. Like, also from the books that I can find, it's all like the same. It all takes place in this current place of consciousness. Luckily, last year I discovered a Dutch writer, and she wrote some amazing, like refreshing books. She's called Tessa Smits, but I don't think that or maybe she already translated one of her books. But she writes in such a refreshing way. You can't find this in other books. Or maybe, of course, I don't know. Like, I don't have the knowledge of every book on this planet and what it's about. But most of the books are very repetitive, or, yeah, it just feels like, in general, what I try to say here is, it feels like the old paradigm. And that's the next thing, and maybe one of the last things that I will share in this video. Of course, there are many more essential symptoms. For example, losing your friends, being misunderstood by family members, losing your job, all very typical ascension symptoms, or just in general losing interest in your job. Therefore, you don't have to like lose your job. Some people need to or decide for themselves to to quit their job. I had one client from the Netherlands, and she now had the courage, and I know how like this journey of discovering that it didn't serve her any longer was very difficult, but she took this brave step of, after 12 years, to quit her job herself, just because she felt her soul was guiding her to do that. But other people just like get fired, but it's all the good reason, believe me. And that's one of the things that I think even missed the most when I was struggling the first months while traveling, is that 2 years ago, I very rapidly, when I was integrating this new, it's not a new consciousness, it's just a remembrance, this truth of consciousness, this union, is that I started to perceive reality differently. So I really, for the first time, understood what people were like writing about or telling or sharing about New Earth. I always, from my old perception, from the perception of separation consciousness, I always thought that the New Earth was referred to a new planet, a new place, or maybe community. But it's actually a frequency within us. So I started to like tap into this frequencies of inner union, of New Earth. Yeah, it's kind of similar to inner union. Like, the best way that I can explain this experience is when your frequency rises, of course you most of the time perceive your 3D field of reality, the outside world for our human brain, the same. It stays the same. The colors maybe change a bit, will get more brighter, for example, but like the material things, the people, everything stays the same. But from when you start to live more from the inside out, so you are more anchored in your truth, you less react on the outside world, you just know things, you feel things, you meet people, and you internally already know what they are mirroring you from the inside out. Maybe you see synchronicities and you just laugh about it because you know, yeah, I know what I am. Like, everything is just me. It's a mirror, and I'm just constantly manifesting this, and I'm creating this. So light becomes so easy, bright, like it's just fun. It's a game. It's joyful. You can be playful. And so you start, or what I started to experience, I started to receive these new insights of possibilities that are already within us, that live within us, if we remember again, of how different society can be, of how different we can get along with each other, of how different the worlds can look like. Because you are less consumed, programmed by the old, because you just feel it doesn't resonate any longer. And you start to feel this new world already. It's so magical. It's pure magic. And it's difficult to really give examples of this. Maybe I will on Substack in one of my new posts or articles. But it's just a knowing. Things like telepathy, like non-linear living, like approaching money from a completely different space and consciousness. Everything becomes more obvious. It flows. And that's where you can build a new reality, where you can co-create a new reality from a place of inner authority and wholeness. And also recognizing we can rely on each other when we claim this first within. And we can build beautiful new things in our worlds. It's not something that you have to think about and brainstorm how we can make a better society. It just grows from the inside out. I love it so much. And that's one of the things that I've now been exploring again and experience again for this last week especially. You just feel this is the old paradigm, and I don't have to be focused on that any longer because I'm here for the new. You believe also in the power of humanity when they can come back to remembrance, using telepathy. I also start to become aware, you really become the visionary. I feel also, and that's something that I've been feeling for a couple of years now, but now it's become so clear that certain social media platforms, maybe they will still continue to exist, but when you start to remember again, you won't need them any longer. Most of the things that are being shared over there are also from this lower vibrations, from this place of needing to consume, to feel better, to get confirmation, to have certain strategies or control over your life. But once you come back to remembrance, it's not necessary any longer, and you feel like it's also part of the old paradigm. Because the truth is, the technology that we know about in our daily lives are just a reflection of our inner technology. We carry such an ancient technologies, but it's not reachable. It doesn't feel realistic if you are in this lower states of consciousness, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we are evolving. It's just a natural process. We are unfolding more and more of the truth, and then you will perceive from the inside out again what is really possible, and that we don't need certain old structures and concepts from the old paradigm, from society, from the society that we have been growing up in. It's not that relevant any longer. And we live in such an interesting times because we are literally the bridge to this new world. And I'm so passionate to talk more about this, to share more about this. That's why I started writing on Substack about this. That's why I'm creating this completely new project, this purpose that I feel, this calling. Now I understand why I'm traveling, why my soul led me to this. But I have such a big passion to remind people of what they really are and what is possible, what they are capable of doing to achieve, from expressing their remembrance and from claiming their inner authority. So much magic will unfold, and I'm so done with the olds. I've had moments the last 2 years now that I for sure, and I still have some of these moments in my life that I feel like my consciousness is dropping. I feel lower in vibration. I'm identifying more with my mind and my emotions. And that's just part of the integration process of remembering. But I'm so passionate about finally claiming this truth that I've been feeling since I was a child. But I back then thought they were just fantasies, so I was putting them in stories and writings. But it has always been this inner guidance already that was like whispering me and saying why I'm here and trying to lead me in certain things. And now I'm here. And you are here listening for freaking 45 minutes already. Oh my God, I've never made a video in English so long. I'm proud of myself. But yeah, I feel like this video is about so much more than just sharing about ascension symptoms. Yeah, if you want to know more about this, if you feel interested, feel free to follow me on Substack, or you don't have to be subscribed to Substack or have an account on Substack to be able to follow me. I will also link a place where you can subscribe for free on my newsletters that are just linked to my Substack. But I also would love to hear about what visions you already received on the new earth, what you are experiencing since your frequency is maybe arising, and what you long for. I'm sure that's I'm not sure, it's just how it is. We are evolving in a timeline where communities are more important than ever. To rely on each other from this place of inner authority, that's how we can join forces and build these new realities from the inside out. It can be so powerful. And behind the scenes, I'm very busy in receiving the guidance on this, in building an online platform to gather people and to activate them in their remembrance, but also to be able to create a family of lights in which we really can rely on each other and help where necessary, because we all carry this or unique gifts and talents in this life. And if we join, if we bring these talents and gifts together, that's the power of building new structures, new communities, new realities. And I'm so freaking in for this. And if you feel called to, know that you are very welcome here on Substack. And also know that you are not alone in this. We are with so much, and the group will only expand even more. Thank you so much, beautiful souls, for being here. And I'll see you in the next video.